Good day, governors. We are talking today primarily about one muscle, rear delts. Rear delts is a really important muscle for you to think about when it comes to the whole shoulder complex. It's massively going to help you when you train your chest. It's massively going to help you when you train back. And in fact, when you're training back, it might be a good idea to start incorporating some rear delts. I think this is really important in order to keep balance and symmetry, to stop things from breaking down and causing dysfunction, which is what we really don't want, right? So when we're talking about rear delts, right, I'm going to show you this key exercise that I learned from a good friend of mine and coach and mentor, Eric Seafelt. And what he does, when you go see him, right, I go there not for me. I go there to learn new skills so I can practice them on my own, give them a good 90 days, sometimes 6 months. And if I think it's any good, I'm going to recommend and teach it to my clients. So one thing Eric's taught me about rear delt training and training in general is your goal is to never make things easier. Your goal is to make things harder. Now, what most men and women do that are serious about building muscle is they'll always go straight to load. But before you do, think about how you can challenge the muscle in all aspects of the range. So not just in the beginning or the mid or the end, in all of the range, right? Think about contracting muscle every single inch of the movement, concentrically and eccentrically. Spending time in a lengthened position, which I'm going to come on to in a second. Spending time in a fully shortened position. But the goal is to really hang out in those areas while creating maximum tension. Because that's really your goal, isn't it? When we look at our training, we look at our muscles. We really want to maintain tissue as we get older for longevity. 2 pillars. Number 1, maximum tension is the goal, right? Look at a physique athlete on stage, whether it be a man or a woman. Notice they don't relax their muscles, do they? It's constant tension, right? So there's a clue for all of us that don't want to compete. If you want to build muscle and sustain muscle as you age, and you're looking for efficiency in the gyms and not waste time, then we're looking at constant continuous tension in a set, right? And number 2, more importantly, is duration, right? Duration of time. Could be 10 seconds of tension, could be 20, could be 30, could be 50, could be 60, could be 70, right? And beyond. That's something that we can maybe look at instead of maybe sometimes looking at reps, right? We're always focused on reps, right? Sometimes it's not so much about sets and reps, it's about actually really giving it 100% towards that target muscle. Can you keep maximum tension? So sometimes you might not even see me when you train with me in the gym. I might not even count reps. I want you to really get this muscle-centric view of an exercise. Take an introspection of the movement. Go inside instead of focusing on the external part of us, meaning more weight, right? Looking at the load. Go inside. Start thinking about the muscle. Great bodybuilders are really good at that, right? Regardless of their form, right? Some of them pretty suspect, right? Me included. But we understand how to get inside the muscle. We understand how to contract muscle at will. Here's the point. If you can't contract a muscle, let's say you're sitting down and you're trying to contract your glutes and you can't do that, then you really have no right in using load. So we've got to get good at muscle contraction without load, right? I think it has a massive transfer into training itself. When it comes to your rear delts, I want you to think about, most of us, including me, for years would stay in a sort of neutral position. I wouldn't even think about trying to get my shoulders in the right setup. I would just literally get in the zone, close my eyes, and then get intense and then create maximum tension on the muscle. The goal now, being that I'm 47 now, approaching 48, what I'm thinking about now, sure, I want to hold on to muscle as long as I can, right? Longevity. The research is out there, we already know. But when it comes to the rear delt, I'm going to make it harder. Not necessarily heavier, I'm going to make it harder. And what Eric taught me was, if you want to make it harder and challenge the muscle, that posterior delt, I encourage any woman or man listening right now that wants to improve their rear delts, maybe from an aesthetic standpoint, or even to help maximize their bench press, right? If someone's weak in their bench, I'm going to look at their upper back training. Rear delts are a massive piece to that. But what I want you to think about is make it harder. Make the exercise harder. Now, most people will come and see me they know they're going to be in for a tough time, because I'm going to get them to do things that they've never done before, or get them in positions that they've never been in before, because that's the idea, isn't it? The body can adapt very, very quickly to stimulus. So why not do things or positions that you've never been into before? Here's an example. When you're doing your rear delts, let's say you're using a cable as an example. We got a beautiful cable at our new gym. It's the Nautilus cable, and it has the arm attachments on the side. So in the video, you're going to see me do this with Eric. And what he did intelligently is got me in, this is the angle I want you to think about. Number one, protraction, right? Protraction of the shoulder, bringing the scapula around the rib cage, right? And then seeing if you can challenge that range from the beginning to the mid-range to the end, and keep protracting as you come back eccentrically. I'm going to tell you right now, your body will find all different paths to cheat, to bring your shoulders back into that comfortable position where we're all used to, that neutral position. So you have to resist the urge and lock in and blank out what the brain's telling you to do, and that's trying to make it easier. And you're going to stay in that protraction position. Here's the thing that we need to all think about when it comes to protraction when we're training in the gym, especially if we're doing upper back or we're training rear delts. When you're in protraction, what are you activating? The serratus anterior, where for most mature lifters and younger people that are training really hard and really heavy, this muscle tends to get really overlooked. So they call it the boxer punch muscle, right? Where the boxer does that, right? So this is a muscle that we need to give close attention to in our training, because otherwise what will happen, which has happened to me, you end up with massive imbalances, right? So now for the last 4 to 5 years, I've been really working on my serratus anterior muscle. I incorporate it into shoulders and back training, because I know for a lot of years when I was in my professional bodybuilding career, never really looked at training that muscle. So I understand now that this has led me to dysfunction with my shoulders. So I'm going to show the video now, and you can see for yourself. It looks so easy to the eye, but when you apply the protraction technique and try and maintain that integrity from start to finish, you're going to come away feeling like your nervous system has been through hell and back. So it's mentally challenging, and this is what I'm trying to teach people in the gym, is to not make things easier, is to make movements harder, right? Especially if you're trying to challenge the muscle. A great way to make things harder is using cables and machines. Maybe not so much with the free weights, right? Barbells and dumbbells go up and down. Machines have axis of rotation, so you can really challenge muscles that way. Okay, we're going to go over the key cues here. Number one, shove your feet into the ground. Number two, squeeze your quads. Number three, more importantly, brace trunk. Number four, here it is, protract the entire time. As you go out concentrically and eccentrically, you must stay in protraction. If you can stay in that position, it will challenge the living daylights out of your posterior delt, and more importantly, fire up the serratus anterior. I dare you to give this a try in your next shoulder workout.